This is part 2 of my Gap and Go trades for the week of September 15th. I've already gone over Tesla and NEO. Now it's time for Nike. We ended the week at $73. To the north side takes us back to the middle of the trend and the baseline, and that is 73.37. Above that takes us to 74.80, 75.55, and roughly 76.27. This is an area that we've been to back in 2024. Now to the south side, one level of support takes us to 71.96, 71.24, and $70.48. By the end of the week, the middle of the trend actually could be right there at 72.57, not far from where we are right now. The outer bands, 71.16, 70.39, and roughly 69.72 if we continue to go downward. Now, this middle of the trend line that I marked is very close to this line, so I will delete it. But out of curiosity, when did I mark it? I won't even go back, but that's been a long time ago. Look at this. Let's just move this to the 30-minute time frame. Well, that one was marked out. Oh gosh, I can't even, oh, I have to put this on a spot that doesn't click. There we go. On Tuesday, the 18th of February. That's how long ago I marked out that line. So I will delete it. Oops. So we are here. Again, I marked this line and I'm going to remove that line just to give me a little bit more space. I don't need any of it, but I do sometimes like to see where I've been and where I might be headed back towards. All right, this is from here, we go up. This is resistance, and then we had a sell-off. An attempt touched this line, which was an area that I've already marked out. That turned into resistance, fell down, busted through. And we have this gap to fill, as well as this gap up to 83.85 and all the way to 94.08. Not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close. Oops, something to be aware of. So the next gap to fill will be 71.09 and then 69.35. Yeah, right there. That needs to be extended. Oops, see, touched the wrong line. Just hit Command Z to undo. I have to hit it. Oops, see, I'll do that later. Let's just go on to the next one and change this back to the 5 because you will get different buy and sell signals. $215.94 is where we ended. The middle of the trend is now right there at roughly $217.54, $222.82. Let me move this out of the way. $225.41 and $228.10. That will be resistance, or we could chop sideways, but we are still in a downward channel. One level of support, $212.35, and also potential buy-in area, a stop loss area, 209.75-ish, 206.97. So we had that gap close, and we've got gaps to the upside, not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close. Command Z, and then we have gaps to the south side to fill as well. Next one is, oh, let me just show you one other thing very quickly. So by the end of the week, the middle of the trend could take us to 199.81, 194.44, 191.98, and 189.34 for another potential buy-in area. And then we have this gap to fill. This nasty little gap at 183, roughly 34. Okay, Intel. 2408 is where we ended. To the north side takes us to 2438, 2474, 2493, and at some later date, 2512. 2401, 2382, and roughly 2364. Then we have a gap to the downside that will fill at 2354. And then looking left, you can see the clear sell-off right here at resistance. And we are nearing a support area, and I will anticipate a bounce off of that. Looks like everything else is cleaned up except for, yeah, that's done. All right. And finally, Rivn, option R. Okay, I have a lot of things marked out here, but it will all make sense. You can just delete all the purple lines. All right, this is where we are. The middle of the trend takes us to 1363, and that's very close to this line at 1359. When did I draw this line? $13.59 right here. So I drew that line basically on Friday, June 20th. So I will delete that since it's very close to where price is, or the middle of the trend is right now. All right. So to the south side will take us to 1291-ish, 1255, and 1219. Look at this wick that took us all the way down, and then what happens? It got bought right back up because that is one level of support. Support, support, support. Potential stop loss area as well. And what happened last week? This is resistance and then a breakdown. Grinding sideways, always touching through the middle of the trend. Still in a downward channel for this upcoming week. But things can turn on a dime, as you well know. And that's resistance. I watched a video today with Tom Lee, and he recommended 3 tickers if the market tanks. And that is Nvidia, Tesla, and Palantir. He thinks that those companies can weather the storm because of what the companies do. And here I wrote out fundamentals. Fundamentals tell you what to buy. The 200-day moving average helps you when to buy. Pullbacks to support equals better entry points while staying in an uptrend. So you can obviously pick things that have tanked, follow the 200 moving average, which I really don't do. I look at it here and there when someone points it out, like Marat. Otherwise, occasionally I'll look at it. But if you look at different ETFs and pick high quality companies that are on a pullback, that is one strategy also that you can play. All right, so that is a look at my gap and go trades for the week of September 15th through the 19th. And I know that Tesla that I tracked earlier and did a video for looks like a hot mess, but just erase all of those. And then you just play these lines here, the red, white, and blue lines on the linear. All right, and let's go back to Rivn very quickly. I will leave you with my public service announcement right here. Appreciate it very much. And if there is a ticker that you want me to go over, please let me know. Otherwise, have a fantastic trading week.